Welcome back. Like I said before, I watched a few movies while I was away for Christmas, but I didn't watch all of them in the theater. I actually watched a few of them by renting them. So this review is going to be a little bit later. It's been out for a while. It's also on Blu-ray and DVD, but the first time I got to watch it. So this movie is The Purge Anarchy. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different with this one, because not only am I going to tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and also talk about a possible sequel and what I would like to see in it. We're also going to be a little bit of the social commentary. So I hope you enjoy that as well. So let's get started with this. The Purge Anarchy. Like I said before, I'm going to talk about what I didn't like first and then go to what I liked. Now, what I didn't like was there were a couple of moments in this movie where it felt predictable, especially towards the end. I'm going to try not to spoil it as much. I'm trying to spoil as little as possible so that if you want to watch it, you can watch it freely and not have to worry about, oh, I know something's going to happen. But there were a couple of scenes where I thought it was a little predictable, but that's probably just because I've seen so many movies that I see that sort of thing coming. Also, the concept of the Purge movies is that all crime is legal for 12 hours. And the only crime they really focus on is murder. I mean, and there are so many different crimes that they could play with this sort of anthology style. I mean, you have arson, theft, Grand Theft Auto, arson, larceny, murder is not just the only one. There's also rape, and there's all sorts of different crimes that people could be committing at this time. And you could really delve into the psychology of, well, what sort of crimes would people commit? Not just, oh, people are just going to murder right away. Not necessarily. Some people want to do something different. Maybe there's something in the store that they really want, or maybe you have, a parent whose child is really sick, so they steal medicine for that child during that 12 hours, all the medicine they can carry. There's a lot to do with that sort of concept that I don't think that they're really focusing on in either the Purge movies. The first one was not that good, I have to say, but this one is definitely better. But I would like to have seen more of an expansion of that sort of what would people do, not just kill each other. Also, the fact that this movie takes place on one night kind of gives you constraints on it, which can work and cannot work at the same time if you don't get the characters developed. And for the most part, they did develop the characters, but there was a couple of characters, one in particular I thought would have needed a little bit more, especially since he was such a main focus on it. I would like to have seen just a little bit more, but it's a minor gripe, so in the grand scheme of things, that's not too important. So what I did like about it was definitely a lot better than the first movie. In the first movie, we focus on one well-to-do, upper-class family that, oh, this sort of thing can't happen here, and then they're all shocked that it can. But this one, it's about different people and how they basically get together in this one night. You have people who are caught in the middle. They were kind of it was shown in the trailers. So their car gets broken down right before Purge night, and you find out how it happens and all that. And also you have a family trying to just stay safe throughout the Purge night, trying to barricade themselves in their home. And we see how they try and survive that night. Also, you have a person who is out to purge, but not indiscriminately. And you see how they all get together. It comes pretty naturally, I thought. It was a really good way to bring the characters together. And most of the characters are pretty flushed out. They're well done for the most part. Like I said, things that could have been done a little bit more, but for what it is, it was good. I did like it. As far as the murder violence goes, again, this is another one of those small gripes and also stuff I like. The violence on it, some of the stuff came unexpectedly, especially when they thought they were safe, that it was really good. And it was a nice way to show that some people, when given the opportunity, their humanity in a sense just goes right out the window. And it's really interesting to see that. But also, I didn't like the blood splattering on the lens. It was too much, I thought. There were too many scenes of that. But all in all, the action was good, and it was done in a way that you can kind of buy it. It wasn't over the top. So I liked that, and I also liked the social commentary. This movie worked pretty well, I thought, with the action and the pacing of the movie. But when it comes to the social commentary of it, that's when this movie, I think, really shines. Because there's a scene where... should I spoil it or not? Yeah, I'm going to spoil it. So, spoiler on this one. There's a scene where they show a wealthy family basically buying someone so they can murder them at home and not have to go out with the riffraff in a sense and kill in their home because it's safer that way. And that scene was really interesting because it was one of those like, wow, that shows like such a huge gap between like the well-to-do and the rest of us who don't have that sort of luxury. And again, the social commentary, there's another character who really drives home that sort of social commentary. I want to quote him right now, where he says that America no longer worships at the altar of Christ or Yahweh or Muhammad. It worships at the altar of Smith and Wesson. And that was a really good way to start off right before the actual purge commenced, to see this sort of revolutionary, and we get little glimpses of him at times in the movie, and it was really good to see that he wasn't just introduced and then forgotten. I like that he was constantly bringing himself up, doing the social commentary, saying, preaching to the downtrodden, if it were. And so I like that. It was really well done. And so I would recommend this movie much more than the first one. This is a rare instance where the sequel, I think, actually outdoes the first one pretty well. And so, as far as a sequel goes, I like this social commentary that I think the third one, if they were to do a third one, should be, the Purge Revolution. I think that should be the title. The Purge Revolution, and see people using the purge as a way to tear down the structure of the political and socio-economic structure that has been built to protect the well-to-do at the cost of everybody else. And the purge was basically used, in a sense, to give the middle and lower class people something to focus on rather than their anger towards people who are keeping them down. And it's similar to the manga, the Battle Royale, or the Hunger Games, the books and movies, things like that. So I think that sort of thing could be done in a third movie, and I would like to see it. So now comes the part that I think some of you might like, some of you might not, but hey, I gotta get this off my chest. So I remember I was watching the review from Nostalgia Critic on The Purge, and he was saying that, that's so stupid, this could never happen, and all this and all that. It's a ridiculous concept. But in my mind I'm thinking, really? Is it really that far-fetched of a concept? I mean, look at the way America is right now. Look what happened last year with the Bundy Ranch. All these nut jobs is going to his ranch to defend himself with more guns, and even taking aim at federal agents. Hell, 2 of their members went and killed 2 cops in Las Vegas and then killed a 3rd person out of Walmart. Look at any sort of comment section on Yahoo when it pertains to race, like Michael Brown or Eric Garner. When they were killed, you see this sort of this keyboard warrior. If they were me, I would be all in their face. I would get my guns, and they act so tough as if they would be such badasses. when if a real purge happened, they act like they want a purge. They really, the way their comments are, they seem to want this sort of thing to happen. And they act like they would be the biggest, toughest, baddest people in the world. But then, in reality, these people probably be the first ones wetting themselves if there was a real purge. Or the first ones killed because they think it's like a movie where they're all bad and bulletproof, and then somebody just guns them down. But do I think this sort of thing can actually happen? Yeah. I honestly think it can. And that's the part that sucks, I think. The fact that it really can happen. Look what happened after Tucson, after Aurora, after Newtown. These sort of things didn't cause people to say, oh, we need to stop this sort of thing from happening again, and bring us together. It was, gotta protect my guns, they're so precious to me. Sorry for doing that voice, but it's just the way, I gotta protect my guns are more important than my life. Like, what the hell's wrong with people? And this is why I quoted the revolutionary in the movie, saying people no longer worship at the altar of Christ or Yahweh or Muhammad. They all worship the altar of Smith and Wesson. And this is pretty much true, unfortunately, in America. And if we don't do something to show that we need to stop our bloodlust and our desire to see people who are not like us, gunned down in the street like animals, it could really happen. I mean, look at all the death threats and all the public fantasies of people thinking it would be a cool thing to assassinate a sitting president. Considering that the last 6 years, you have people actually say that they wish they could take out the President Obama. Look at these sort of things happening, and people are like, yeah, he's right, they should do that. And it's like, what the hell's wrong with you? I mean, this sort of thing should not be like so front in our minds that it's something we celebrate. And I think if we don't do something and look inside of our heart and our soul, we may end up losing it. That's what I think. What do you think of the movie and my commentary? Did you like the Purge Anarchy? I did. I hope I recommend it. And what do you think of my social commentary? What do you think of my points? Do you think a purge really can happen? Also, do you think I should do more of these social commentaries? I'm not going to do it for every movie. Don't worry about that. But I think in a movie that really does have a commentary, I will do something like that. Something special. It's gotta come naturally, not something forced. So that's what I think of the Purge. I got 2 more reviews at least coming up. Maybe a 3rd one if I feel like I should do it. Until then, take care of yourself and take care of somebody close to you. Take care. Bye.